Hi friends, Gypsy Spirit here, aka Rhonda Ferguson, and I'm here with video 3 of There's Got to Be a Better Way. I am an identity theft restorer. I teach people who they truly are and their purpose in life in order to free and empower them. So I teach people that they are a spiritual being of light and love, but their ego has robbed them of their true identity. So today's video is probably going to be one of the longest and one of the most important videos. So like I've told you in my last videos, and if you have not watched video 1 and 2, please go do that now before you watch this one, because each video builds upon the next. So those lay the foundation, and today we're going to talk about radical healing in the mind, body, spirit, especially the body. So you'll want to make sure you watch those videos first, and you always want to have a pen and paper when you watch my videos, because they're going to be really interactive, and I really want to help you and guide you to freedom and peace and joy and happiness and who you truly are. So let's get started. So about 7 years ago, I started doing the inner work. I really started diving into knowing who I truly am. And what I discovered is I have an ego. And I discovered that through A Course in Miracles. And I also discovered that with Eckhart Tolle's teaching and Wayne Dyer's teachings and many other spiritual teachers. But those three, the Course in Miracles, Wayne Dyer, and Eckhart Tolle, were like the main three sources that taught me about my ego. So I started really living in awareness, as I taught you in the last videos. I really started living in awareness of my ego and really started to do something about it. So what happened was, when there was something that I was thrown out of peace about, something I was triggered about, I would go process it. And I started doing this constantly, day in and day out, to the point I started being woken up by the divine at 2:22 in the morning. And this happened for like a year. Most days I was woken up at 2:22 in the morning. My husband would be like, "Why are you getting up at 2:22?" And I would always tell him, because I have to go have a conversation with the divine. Like, I did something wrong again and it has to be corrected. So I would come in this room and I would take out my journal and I would process the thing that was bothering me. I'd always be asked the same question, and it would be, what are you not at peace with? So that is really important that you write that down, to constantly ask yourself, what am I not at peace with? And then I would be taken through this heart surgery. Okay, what was the situation? And I'd write out the whole situation. And then I would be asked, how did the situation affect you? And I would write out how it affected me. It upset me, it pissed me off, it caused me to be bitter, angry, or unforgiving, whatever. And then I would be asked, well, what's the truth? What's the truth about that person, about yourself, about the situation? And the truth was, I always needed to forgive either myself or somebody else. And then the final question, the fourth question was, okay, with that truth, how are you going to move forward? And so that would mean I had to go to somebody and apologize, make things right. Maybe it was forgive myself and change my perspective and my thinking. So that was going on for a couple years, and then flash forward 2 years later, I'm running my counseling therapy business. I'm really a spiritual guide, but people call me a counselor or therapist. And meeting with people all day long, every day, Monday through Friday. And one of my clients during this time, this is now 5 years ago, one of my clients was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 rectal melanoma. And her dad, who lived in another state, came here to help take care of her, and he met me, and he knew I had caregiving background, and so he asked if I would take care of her, and he would pay me. So I would go to her house in the morning and be her spiritual guide, her companion, her caregiver, run her to her doctor's appointments and things. And then I would come home and I would meet with people and counsel and guide them. So as we're doing this over the course of about 4 months, I watched her decline. And although I was the only one in her life who would not buy into the belief or the idea that she has cancer, and I kept saying, no, I know she's healed. I kept saying at that time, because I was a Christian, I would say, by Jesus' stripes, she's healed, she's healed, she's healed. Everybody else around me was like, no, she's not. She has cancer, and she's having 13 blood transfusions, and she's down to 80 pounds. So everything that I would look at in this world with these human eyes said quite opposite of what I was believing. And it was very much like the Bible says, walk by faith, not by sight. So I would just constantly tell her and tell myself, no, I know you're healed. I know you're healed. Till finally at the end of 4 months, like I said, she was not doing well at all. She was just about bedridden. And that's when I cried out to the divine and I said, I know, but that's not our experience. I'm taking her to all these, specialists, and she had started immunotherapy, and yeah, it was just going down from there. It's all coming back to me and it's hitting me right now. Sorry about that. And what really was a turning point was at her last blood transfusion, I ran out to go get the car, and I took her phone with me, and her phone rang, and it was the chaplain that would come visit her on a weekly basis. And the chaplain asked me how it was going, and I said, it's not going well. She's at her 13th blood transfusion. She's losing weight. It's not going well. And he pretty much started like yelling at me. And he said, don't you dare start doubting. Don't you dare start believing that she's not healed. And he quoted James chapter 1 that when you doubt, you're like a wave in the sea tossed to and fro, and you can expect nothing from God because you're blocking it with your disbelief. It was such a good slap in the face. And that's what drove me to go to the divine and say, okay, I know she's healed, but that's not our experience. So here's the miraculous part. When I did that and I cried out to God, like I talked in my other videos about crying out to God, miraculous things happen. Seek and you'll find, knock and it'll open to you. So the first thing I got was a vision of an immune system, but it was a vision of like a water fountain, but it was a fountain of colors. And these colors were a representation of our immune system. And it was beautiful, brilliant colors. And wrapped around the immune system, the fountain, were these black snakes. And on every snake was a word. It was unforgiveness or bitterness, doubt, worry, fear, shame, guilt, regret. All these words written on these black snakes. And the divine said to me, go to her house and ask her what she was going through when she got diagnosed with cancer, and do heart surgery on each one of those things. Remember, heart surgery is what I had been doing for a couple of years and had saw tremendous healing, yes, in my body, but mostly in my relationships in life. I just saw such a transformation in myself. And so I was like, okay, I go to her house and I ask her what she was going through, and not to get into that because that's private and personal. but she had several of the things written on those snakes. And so we just walked through each one, like, for example, like unforgiveness, and who are you not forgiving, and here's the situation, and this is how it's affecting you, and but what's the truth? You need to forgive her, you need to forgive yourself, and how are we going to move forward with that truth? And whether it's you call that person and forgive them, or you just release it, let it go in yourself, you say a prayer, whatever you need to do, you have to let it go. And so we did that through about 5 that we identified on that list, on those snakes. And within a couple days, few days, she was healed, completely healed. This is 5 years ago, and she's doing amazing still. Completely healed, a stage 4 rectal melanoma. Even a month later, she was at Disneyland with her kids. So, yes, heart surgery. This is what this video is all about. So let me check my notes and make sure I'm on track here. So what I want you to write down right now are these words. The body is a reflection. The body is a reflection of our state of mind. The body is a reflection of our state of mind. Either fearful, angry ego, that's one state of mind, your fearful, angry ego, like I taught you in the last videos, or you're in a loving, peaceful spirit mind. A loving, peaceful spirit mind. Your body is just reflecting, the symptoms you're having is reflecting your state of mind. Okay? So you have to, if you have a diagnosis, if you have symptoms, ask yourself, what was I going through when I started having these symptoms? Okay? So now, in the final part of this video, I want to actually walk you through that list of those snakes, those black snakes. And I want you to actually, on your piece of paper, make category, 3 groups. Okay, I want you to make 3 groups. So the top group, group number 1 of the black snakes, if you want to call it that, is guilt, shame, and regret. And you want to leave a big space below it of guilt, shame, and regret. Okay? Number 2, the next section, is doubts, worries, and fears. Doubts, worries, and fears. And leave a big section below that. And the final group is, of black snakes, frustration, bitterness, anger, resentment. I'll say it slowly. Frustration, bitterness, anger, and resentment. And make sure you have space under there. Now that you have your list of the black snakes, of the mindset that's going to cause dis-ease in the body, now you need to go back and ask yourself, now do this when you have time to get alone with the divine and really be honest with yourself. Do I have any guilt, shame, or regrets? Do I have any guilt, shame, or regrets? And of course, this is all about the past. Do I have any doubts, worries, or fears? And those are going to be about the future. Do I have any frustration, bitterness, anger, or resentment right now in the present? The final group is because you've pulled the past and the future into the present, and now that's going to make your reality, which is going to cause dis-ease in the body. Now, once you have your list complete, now you can start your heart surgery. So every morning, get alone with the divine or in a quiet space like my Zen room that I get to bring you guys into. And I want you well, first of all, I want you to check in with yourself. Is there anything I'm not at peace with right now? So number one, check in with yourself. Is there anything I'm not at peace right now in this present moment? And you're going to want to do heart surgery on that first. But then I want you to pick something from your list. Or maybe you're totally at peace and you're just going to come in and pick something on your list, okay? Regardless, heart surgery needs to be done every day until you are free and you are at peace. Okay, so heart surgery. So you might want to flip your paper over and let's break it down again really slowly. Step number one, here's the situation. So write that out. Number one, here is the situation. And step two, how is this affecting me? How is this affecting me, or how is it making me feel? Number three is, what is the truth about the other person, about myself, about the situation? Who do I need to forgive? What is the truth? Who do I need to forgive? And the final question is, with that truth, how am I going to move forward? Do I need to forgive? Do I need to go have a conversation? Do I need to just let this go? What do I need to do to get free of this guilt, shame, regret, doubts, worries, fears, anger, resentment, all that? Whatever it is, what do I need to do? And then the most important part is you need to go do it. And your ego is going to try to get you to not do it and to keep blaming that other person instead of taking ownership. And really, that's what this is all about. It's having a willing spirit to say, okay, I'm ready to let go of the ego and do whatever I have to do to get free, to be me, to be at peace, to experience joy and happiness in my life. So there you have it. There's video 3. And I know it's a lot, but I believe in you and I know you can do this. And I love you guys and I'm rooting for you. And I'm going to bring the next video. Video number 4 will be all about forgiveness. And we're going to use a tool that was given to me from the divine. Everything that I give you is from the divine. And it's called the courtroom. And it's going to teach you how to forgive, because a lot of people get stuck on, how can I forgive because they really did that to me? They really hurt me. They really caused me to lose something. But I'm going to help you set that aside and be able to go through the courtroom trial, divine trial, and set that person free, which is really setting yourself free. I love you guys. Namaste. Have a beautiful, blessed day.